Coach, what did you see in the fourth quarter that gave Minnesota control?
I mean, they jumped on us early in that fourth quarter. I think they started off probably 15-3. We just finishing around the rim, taking some tough ones, allowed them to get out on the break and get some easy baskets, started knocking some shots down, and then we were just playing uphill from there.
How hard is it to overcome a run like that in an environment like this on the second night of a back-to-back?
I mean, this is the league. You know, I think you're going to face these situations, and you got to be prepared for them. And I think our guys battled. They fought. They on a second night of a back-to-back, being able to find a way. Guys staying ready. You talk about Caleb Houston stepping into a big moment, not afraid of the moment, stepping up big, knocking shots down. But again, give Minnesota a ton of credit for the way they came out in that fourth quarter, being able to get stops early and then getting out and running. But again, I think we missed a lot of early easy looks that allowed them to get on the break. And I'll go back and look at it and see exactly what those were. But again, for our guys to continue to battle in this situation on a back-to-back, you got to tip your hat to our guys, but also to Minnesota for the way in which they came out.
That you guys closed that third quarter on a 17-3 run. Just what was working right for you guys that wasn't working in that fourth quarter run?
Well, I think we went to Paulo a lot, and he found some rhythms, found a way to get to the free throw line, attacking downhill, spacing the floor, guys knocking shots down, the ball popped. Again, we got stops. I think we ended that quarter with 7 stops in a row, and I think that was a big key for us to be able to get on a run. But again, our guys coming in that fourth quarter, they jumped on it early because we went on the run, and teams are going to make runs in this league. You just want to slow it down a little bit more by watching the ball go through the hoop, so now you can play against a set defense.
You mentioned Paolo had it going. Franz went, I think, 4 for 16. He had kind of a rough night. Seemed like he was battling a lot of contact. Just what did you see offensively with some of his looks and his performance?
I think battling a lot of contact might be a little bit of an understatement. I mean, there's a couple times that, again, I get the swipe down and the grabs, but he landed on it. He landed on the ground quite a few times, and obviously I understand they want to take away the and one, but a lot of those were early on where, calling the swipe on us, and then Franz ended up on the floor in a lot of these situations. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to beat him up, extra physical with him as he gets downhill. But again, he's a trooper. He's a warrior. He's going to continue to attack the basket and get downhill. And whether that whistle goes our way or not, we cannot control that. But we will still continue to attack the basket the right way.
You've been turning to Caleb more recently, but for him to see the ball go through the hoop 6 times like that from distance, what can that do for him the rest of the season? I
mean, the kid works, and I say this with no hesitation. He might be one of the hardest workers I've seen. This kid is in early, stays late, comes back, works on his shot. He is determined. He is focused. He's a pro. He stays ready. No matter if his number's called for 2 minutes or 22 minutes, he's going to stay ready. And that's what you got to love about him and the way he represents being a professional.
When people talk about future faces of the league, was this kind of an example when you see Paolo and Anthony Edwards play the way that they did, that people can look ahead and say these 2 guys could be it?
They will not be wrong. I mean, you have 2 guys that go toe-to-toe in that way, that big shot needing to be made, a big stop needing to be made. Ant came out, hit a big 3 down the stretch. Paolo comes down, attacks the basket, gets a foul. The back-and-forth battle between 2 guys that are at a high level, superstar status in so many ways, that you have to tip your hat to both of those guys for what they're able to do on the basketball court, and and continue to uplift and empower their team.
You mentioned it was a game of runs. I think the game was tied at 98 all with about 3.5 minutes to go. Obviously, it's fresh, but is there anything that kind of sticks out about those last 3.5 minutes that gave Minnesota the ultimate advantage?
I definitely have to go back and look at that in that situation. I would say that it had to do with if we came down and we may have missed a shot. Long rebound. I just know Ant came down, hit a big time 3 in transition. I think when they felt that momentum go, is a big portion of that. Feeding off the environment, but also trying to take and make the big shot in that moment.
Obviously, you're still processing this, review the film, but Cleveland's next. Just what challenges that possess on Sunday?
I'm definitely not looking at Cleveland right now. I'm going to process this one, walk through the film, watch the film, study with the coaches, go back what we can improve on, what we did well, and then just find a way to get to Cleveland on Sunday. We'll look at that then.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.